Joining us now is Ojinika with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinex.
You did the dance again. Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning?
Good to see you, yeah.
Great. We are missing Tundu today. Good morning, Rufai. How are you this morning?
Tundu, we're missing you so much.
Yes, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United States, billionaire Elon Musk sent shockwaves through social media on Tuesday after tweeting that he is buying English club Manchester United without offering any details. The English club, which is one of the most famous in world football, has more than 32 million followers on its main Twitter account. Musk's tweet had garnered over 200,000 likes on the platform within 2 hours before the billionaire tweeted that he was joking today. In Kenya, opposition figure Raila Odinga on Tuesday said that he would challenge the results of Kenya's close presidential election with all constitutional and legal options after the country's president-elect, William Ruto, was declared winner on Monday, August 15, bringing new uncertainty to East Africa's most stable democracy.
Mr. Chebukati's announcement purporting to announce a winner is a nullity. He acted with gross impunity and in total disregard of the Constitution and our laws.
In Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday launched the Nigeria End Malaria Council, which he says aims to eradicate malaria and save the country from an estimated economic burden of the disease to the tune of 2 trillion naira by 2030. The 16-member council is led by Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote, president of the Dangote Group.
We will advocate at the national and state levels to ensure sufficient funding for malaria elimination.
Under sports, 23-time Grand Slam champion Serena Williams lost to U.S. Open champion Emma Raducanu in the Southern and Western Open on Tuesday night. The 40-year-old has fallen to 0-2 in matches since announcing that the countdown has begun. On her playing career, the Cincinnati event was the second U.S. Open tune-up for Serena. Last week in Toronto, she lost to Belinda Bencic in straight sets.
I never thought about what I looked like. I didn't know what a mirror was.
Finally, under entertainment, the first trailer for Sydney, Apple TV's upcoming documentary on legendary film icon Sidney Poitier, has been released. The film examines the legacy of Poitier, who died earlier this year at the age of 94. Poitier was one of the most acclaimed and recognizable movie stars of the golden age of Hollywood and the first black man to receive the Oscars Best Actor Award. The documentary is set for release on September 23rd.
You think of yourself as a colored man. I think of myself as a man.
That's the summary of him.
I love him so much. My life has had more than a few wonderful, indescribable turns. And I have lived them.
He is one of my favorite of all times. Dr. Abati, I'm sure he's yours as well.
Well, I mean, one of those unforgettable figures in the area of film, movies, performance, art, and culture.
Yes.
You know, a legend of the American cinema and one of the icons of Negro theater in the United States. Yes, Sidney Poitier, you know, he died in January at the age of 94. But he had, you know, quite a remarkable career. And in that, report by you, he was saying that his life had very interesting turns.
Yes.
He came from Bahama, but he was born by accident in Miami, Florida, and suddenly became an American citizen. But, you know, those two aspects of his life later defined his career. He made his name first on the stage, playing in a stage play called Lysistrata, by Aristophanes.
Oh.
I would recommend it for
I'll
you.
watch
I don't
it.
want to give you a summary, otherwise you will accuse me of prurience
Oh,
on
I know
television.
where you're going. I know where you're going. But I have a favorite, though. My
Guess who's
favorite
coming to dinner?
Yeah, guess who's coming
Guess
to dinner?
who's coming to dinner? A Raisin in the Sun,
Yes.
Porgy and Bears, Shoot to Kill.
Yeah.
You know, these are some of the films he acted in. He was also a director. He was also a businessman. He was also a diplomat for Bahamas. He was Bahamas at a point ambassador to Japan, and also ambassador of Bahamas to to the UNESCO. But of course, he will be remembered for his art, considering the fact that when he started, he was accused of having an accent. And audiences did not want to watch him. He had to go and learn, the right accent to be relevant. And then at some point, he was also banned, when he joined the leftist movement from performing. But he then went on. He was knighted by the Queen of England, and he will be remembered, for his grandeur, for his lifetime achievement, for his distinction as an actor. So a good example, source of inspiration to generations of actors, not just in the United States, but across the world.
What a rich history. Thank you for that, Dr. Abati. It's about the evolution of Hollywood at this point. Well, let's begin what's trending. The Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, has warned supporters of the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, to focus on developing a winning strategy for the 2023 elections rather than peddle false rumors. The governor said this while speaking at the inauguration of the new government VIP lounge at the Port Harcourt International Airport. Wike's comments come amid speculations over whether he will support the PDP after losing the party's presidential and vice presidential tickets. On Tuesday, the governor was seen pictured with the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi, the former governor of Ondo State, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue State, and the former governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke, among others, sparking several reactions on social media. Let's take some tweets. This is from Frankie, who wrote, well. When you see everyone rushing to Rivers State Government House, you will understand it's for a purpose. Wike is pressing their neck. And we must appreciate Donald Duke, Wike, and his camp. We understand a few persons in the camp are not happy. The goal is simple: rescue Nigeria. Well, Yemi wrote, why is Peter Obi going after PDP chieftains? He wants to deal with Atiku at all costs. If this is what he calls politics and wants to pay Atiku back after exposing him to national politics, then Nigerians need to be very careful of Peter Obi. Well, Pat wrote, it's normal because he won't ask Obi, that is Wike, not to pay him a visit. Will Wike campaign for Obi? No. Akeredolu and Sanwo-Olu was with Wike a few weeks ago, but Jabiamila was with him as well. So who is he campaigning for? If Okowa chooses to visit him, he won't say no as well. Let's watch. Dr. Bati, I'm sure you guys had discussed this earlier. Rufai, I don't know if you want to make a quick comment with all of the tweets and the responses from Nigerians, because this was trending.
I think we had discussed Wike ad nauseum, but one thing I'll pick out is let's focus on the issues.
You always say that, Rufai.
I'm tired of all this, Wike, PDP talk. Let us focus on the issue. We'll report it because of our role in the media. We cannot remove that. But let's focus on the issues. And what are the issues? The issues are terrorism. The issues are the fact that the economy is in a dire state. Everything is looking bad as regards the economy. The indices don't favor us. I'm not saying there are not good things too that are happening, but the bad things overwhelm the good things. And we can't run away from that. And what are the solutions? I don't see too many people talking about the solutions. We must talk about it. So let's move on to those.
No, it's fine. Dr. Bati, the tweet about Wike pressing their neck, I thought that was quite funny. But the real deal is the fact that it was a party. It was a birthday celebration that was happening in Rivers State over the weekend. I believe he even gifted the former governor of the state. He was turning 74, Peter Odili. He gave him a house. I thought that was quite impressive. But also the fact that Wike is such a superpower at this point. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, I don't know about Wike being a superpower. No human being is a superpower.
In terms of between the PDP and the APC.
Yeah, but the point I made earlier on, as governor of Rivers State, we imagine that during the occasion of the 74th birthday of a major political figure, a father figure in Rivers State politics like Dr. Peter Odili, people will come from different places. They will come from across the political spectrum, to come and celebrate with him. And I imagine that, yes, yesterday was a special day in Port Harcourt, a birthday event. Dr. Peter Odili is not just a major political figure. That's also the husband of His Lordship, Justice Mary Odili. So, that's a very strong family in Rivers. So, as governor, he will play host to everybody, from Labour Party to PDP to retired governors to aspiring governors to, if I at that time I had gone to Port Harcourt, I probably would have been part of that photograph.
Jollificating and pepper souping. That?
So join them in celebrating Dr. Peter Odili, who I join others, of course, in wishing a very happy 74th birthday and many more years of service to the community, to humanity. Okay, so as for the other issue, Governor Wike himself has been saying that he's commissioning projects. After the commissioning of projects, the campaigns will start, according to him. Yeah. That will be in September. And he wants the PDP to, hold the governorship position. He wants to be able to influence who his successor is. So he's trying to prepare the grounds for the campaigns. As for the national issue within the party, well, it's already clear. The candidate of the party, the standard bearer, Atiku Abubakar, is not going to change his running mate. That already is a done deal. Governor Wike himself has said he doesn't want to be a minister. He has said people should leave him alone to focus on winning the election in Rivers State, and the people who are in Abuja should stop saying, Wike did this, Wike did that. A meeting has been scheduled, we're told, for Friday between the so-called Wike camp and the Atiku camp. Whatever it is, the party should focus on its own interests. But as I pointed out to Kola Ologbondiyan, when are we going to get to the point where what we'll be hearing from every direction is what those who are seeking positions in Nigeria, what they intend to do for the people? With a loaf of bread beyond the reach of the common man, with inflation, going very close to 20%, with food inflation already over 20%, with Nigeria's debt profile rising, with forest crisis in the country, with everybody looking like, they are just coming from the hunger chamber. When I see people these days, they look in their eyes, can be frightening. Who is going to address all of that so that Nigerians can be happy again? This is what we should be focusing on. Not Wike did this, Wike did that. Peter Obi went to visit Wike. They took jollof rice and pepper soup and jollof rice that, is just for their own consumption.
Well, all right. We shall take another story. Festus Keyamo, spokesperson for the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, while addressing security challenges in the country during a live interview on Monday, said that the federal government has reduced Boko Haram's dominance to almost nothing. The minister, who was defending the performance of the APC-led government, said despite the overwhelming deadly attacks on communities by terrorists in some parts of the country, particularly in the north, the government has reduced terrorism significantly when compared to what it was under the PDP-led government. He further alleged that news highlighting the failures of the current administration are sponsored by the opposition to discredit the ruling party. In another development, Nigerians have reacted to a Facebook post by President Buhari's special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, in which he said that Nigerians blame the president for all the challenges, including poor performance in bed. Adesina, in his Facebook article titled, "I Still Believe in Buhari," lamented that Nigerians see the president as their fall guy. His statement read in part, "Resentment is a poor prop for anyone to lean on," goes another saying, "but not for some Nigerians. Resentment is their daily food and drink, and they heap all the problems in the country on the head of the president. If it rains too much, blame Buhari. It doesn't rain at all, Buhari is the cause. A man gets to bed at night, no power. Buhari, the president, is a fall guy for everything." I mean, who else are we going to blame? Who else are we going to blame if not the president? I mean, like you said.
Audrey, the buck stops with President Muhammadu Buhari. And when people are blaming, I mean, he was just being hysterical by saying people will blame President Buhari for poor performance in bed. Nigerians don't blame him for that. They wouldn't blame him for that. Poor performance in bed is incumbent on the performer.
Right? Electricity, he's talking about when there's no light, you can't perform properly.
When there's no light, and you can't on generator.
Yes, you can't. So that's...
but all these problems, the blame goes to the president.
Right.
And he would take the number one blame because he's also the person that takes all the glory if we do well. When Nigeria does well, he takes the glory. When Nigeria does well, the blame will come to him. Just like a lot of people are blaming him for insecurity. Yes. Because he said he would fix insecurity in 2015, it has gotten worse. And going back to what is it called, Mr.
Festus Keyamo,
what he said is not true. Insecurity has gotten worse. The indices are there to show. Global Terrorism Index, if we've decimated Boko Haram and we've decimated terrorists, like he said, we have now dominance. Why is Nigeria still ranked number 6? We're ranked number 4 before. Yes, we've improved, but we are still ranked in the first 10 countries that are highly terrorized in the world. Why will Governor El-Rufai write a letter that his government has been taken over by parallel bandits? Why will the governor of Niger come out to say that things are bad, that most parts of his land have been taken over? Why are we having insurgents? Kudos to the military that is fighting back, but we still have state of insecurity. Why are other countries, why is Australia not on Global Terrorism Index? Why are they not part of the first 10? Because those countries are not terrorized. So let's tell people the fact in the campaign. They are making efforts. Yes, we appreciate the effort. But as in terms of, we've taught, what is it called, dominance and all of that, that's not the case. That's not the case. If there's a case of dominance, why is it that we have BBC do a documentary showing us how powerful bandits were still roaming around everywhere?
That documentary.
And they
warlords of Zamfara.
Warlords of Zamfara. And how much they are making. In this campaign, issue-based, let's tell the truth.
All right. Dr. Abati, before I come to you, we'll take our final story. Discussing posters of the governorship candidates of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos State, Olajide Adediran, fondly called Jandor, and his running mate, Nollywood actress Funke Akindele, which has been spotted in many areas of Lagos State. The posters have raised many questions as to how and when campaign posters should be displayed before elections begin. In other news, a defaced billboard displaying Amy Lokon. The slogan attributed to presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on 3rd Mainland Bridge is now making the rounds on social media. Dr. Abati.
Okay, what we preach usually is the politics of tolerance, decency, common sense. Politicians not using every possible opportunity to fight each other. And during campaign process, either now or before now, it's always an issue.
Yes.
You know, in terms of where you place your posters, where you put your campaign materials, and the allegation is that the incumbent government often makes it very difficult for the opposition to be able to campaign, whether with regard to broadcasting or with just street campaigns. And that's why you have regulation. The NBC has its own regulation asking for fairness and open access. And also, you know, with campaigns and billboards, you have these signage and advertising agencies. Now, in Lagos State, you have referred to campaign posters by the PDP. The candidate of the PDP was on this program not too long ago, and he complained that he was not being allowed to put his posters and billboards on the streets of Lagos for him to be noticed by the electorate. Of course, the Lagos State government said this was not true, but it was an issue. Could this have motivated him to go and put his posters and the posters of his other colleagues within the PDP on the streets, on bridges, on public infrastructure? Well, he is the only person who can answer that. But he raised a concern on this platform about how, you know, billboards were being destroyed. And then, of course, you balanced it with the billboard belonging to the APC, the Emilokon. It is my turn billboard, also apparently vandalized. Who did that? Okay, but it's fair enough to show that it's not just the PDP that is involved in this. However, political campaigns are governed by rules. In February, the chairman of the Lagos State Signage and Advertising Agency, I think his name is Adedamola Dusumu, you know, issued a statement giving guidelines. And those guidelines say, well, if you have to put up a poster, it has to be on billboards belonging to recognized, advertisers in Lagos State. 2, if you have to put your billboards in inner streets, okay, there's a way you go about it. It defined the frame. If it must be on open streets, it stated the rules. And he also went for that to say, you cannot put your posters on public infrastructure or on bridges or in unauthorized places. So what we have done to bring this forward, well, LASA, that's the name of the agency, will probably work on it and try to make sure that the rules are enforced. But even when those rules are enforced, those rules must be enforced fairly and in ensuring that every political party, every candidate, operates within the rules and that there is no discrimination or intimidation or harassment, as was previously alleged by the People's Democratic Party in Lagos State.
I just wanted you to answer Femi Adesina real quickly.
Well, Femi Adesina, yes, you said when he said, when a man gets to the bedroom, there is no power. You said maybe it's electricity that he's talking about. Yes, sometimes you go to the bedroom and there is no electricity. But the people who reacted to that is essay. They were saying that, well, even if he's referring to the libidinal competence of a man in the inner chamber, even that is a problem, because with loaf of bread expensive, with inflation at 19.something%, with food inflation in Nigeria at over 20%, a lot of men, they are having issues below the waist. In fact, I got a report the other day. One man was expecting one child. The wife went and became too fertile and produced two. The man ran away. Many men now are saying hospitals should keep the woman and keep the children. If you are expecting one, they come and give you 3. In Buhari's Nigeria, some men are saying no. So it's not impossible to stretch the point.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
But that's what Keyamo is doing the job of a spin doctor.
Right.
So spin doctors sometimes tell lies.
Well, thank you.
But it's wrong to say previous government caused us problem.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for cracking me up this morning. I'm sure your viewers love you. That's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you tomorrow.